Hello you and welcome to a new video. Do you hear that? That's my soul coming back to my body. Today we will be viewing some art tips and I'm gonna try them and then I'm gonna rate them. It's gonna be fun.
Oh wow, Nana, your skin looks amazing today.
What did you do?
First of all, makeup, but I'm glad you asked. Fun little fact about me is that I take my skincare
Very seriously.
and for the past couple of years, I've been really digging deep about what kind of products work best for me because in my teenage years, I suffered a lot from acne, and until this day my skin is prone to develop acne. And after doing some research and looking through various products throughout my whole life, basically, I came to realize that the products that work best for me, weirdly enough, they're Korean. I recommend you check out Skincare by Hiram's channel and James Wells' channel. They helped me understand the basis of skincare and I learned a lot about like active ingredients and all that jazz. I get most of my skincare products from YesStyle, which is a Korean website. By the way, you can use my code in the description to get some goodies. But one product that I will talk about today is the Jingsen Eye Cream. Oh my gosh, I have to do the influencer thing. Oh wow, oh wait, fuck. There we go. This is also a Korean product. I have been using this for the last 4 or 5 days. I'd say 4 days. And I've been using it twice a day because that's what it says on the box. So let's talk about it. First of all, I think this is a little overpriced, especially because I think the eye creams are not necessary for your skincare routine because I think moisturizers can do the job pretty well, at least for me.
That's my opinion!
It sells for 31 euros and it weighs 30 grams, but since I got it for free, this is not really an issue. And it's currently on sale for around 24 euros. This promotion will end on March 12th. As application and effects go, I'm pretty pleased with it. It didn't really help with my dark circles, but that's also on me because I haven't been sleeping well and so my dark circles are crazy. But also the product doesn't advertise like saying it will help with dark circles. What it does say though is that it makes the eye area firm and tight, adhering to the skin so that the skin looks shiny and healthy. And you know, I gotta say, it really does. My under eyes feel very smooth and firm and hydrated. And after using it for all these days, I can tell that my skin textures has improved. So if you are interested in a good eye cream, maybe this could work for you. It worked for me. But yeah, it's up to you. Now back to the video. So here we are. This is my feed. I am looking for maybe digital art. Okay, let's see this.
You need to stop drawing line art like this scenario. You're having a great time sketching, you finish your sketch, you're happy with it, and you realize it's time for line art. So you draw the line art in hopes that it won't ruin the whole picture. You think it looks good, you hide your sketch layer and it's... oh my god, what the f...
So, I used to struggle with this. But then I realized, oh, sensitivity matters. So what I do now is I use a pressure brush. So when I press it down a bit more, it makes the lines thicker. And if I don't press it as hard, it will make the lines thinner. And this will give like the drawing some sort of dynamic. And so the sketch will look a lot better with it. But let's see what he says.
We've all been there, right? I'm going to show you 3 ways how to get better line art. Number 1, line weight. It's really important to get more interesting line art. I use thicker lines where there are shadows and where an object is in front of another to indicate
depth. Yeah.
Number 2, texture brushes. I like to use texture brushes for my line art. You don't have to use a texture brush, but in my opinion it helps the line art look more interesting. Third,
well, you don't need to buy a lot of brushes to do this. You could buy some. There are some free brushes out there that are really good, but you can work with just the basic brush.
thing, texture. If you have the problem, the sketch looks good, but then when you do your line art, it loses all its texture and life. Then you can try to add some cross-hatching, some textured line, kind of get the sketchy feel. Make sure tips that I like to do.
In my case, I don't really do those kind of drawings anymore. When I first started, my process was a little bit different. I used to do like line art and then I would add some like dots to add texture instead of like lines. But now I'm trying to evolve to a more render type of look. So line art isn't really like a big part of my process anymore. This could help you, but it's not really my case anymore.
Blur. When you're done with your line art, duplicate that layer Put a Gaussian blur on that duplicated layer, but only a little bit, not too much. Second thing I like to do is a bold outline around the character or whatever I'm drawing. I don't think a lot of explaining needs to be done here. Thicker lines around the edges. If any of these tips helped you, follow me.
It's interesting because most of these tips work also for traditional art. I used to do a lot of inking on my sketchbook, and the outlining thing, it's something that I would do a lot. It just makes your drawing pop, and I really recommend you do that. Well, I don't think there's much for me to try here. It was very self-explanatory. He even drew like all of the tips that he was saying. So yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Digital art tips in 1 minute. Let's go. Instead of shading with black on a lower opacity, use a multiply or linear burn layer instead. Make sure to
I agree with that, but maybe instead of black, use like a color like purple or just a contrast color. Let's say you're painting orange, then maybe a bluish, like tealish shadow would look good, or even purple, to be honest. But don't use black. Like black kills a lot of the vibrancy of the colors, and it can make your drawings look a little bit muddy, so avoid black.
Make sure to use references when you're drawing. No one can remember what everything looks like off the top of their head.
Yep. I mean, references, I cannot draw without references. I mean, obviously there are some stuff that I can, but like I have this thing where if it doesn't look right, I will freak out and I will stop drawing for a whole month. So use references. They really do help.
When painting, make sure your midtone is more saturated than your shadow tone. This especially helps when trying to make skin feel more vibrant and alive. Make sure to name your layers, especially...
I don't name my layers, and I especially don't because I have this thing of merging every like 20 layers. So if I will merge, there's no point for me to do that. I mean, if this works for you, if you need it, go for it.
If you have a lot of them. Learn basic perspective. This will really help out.
I mean, I hate these tips because they're like, oh, you gotta learn perspective. Oh, you gotta learn anatomy. Okay, right, but how? I might do a video on this. Like, what do you study? Do you just draw landscapes? What do you do? Teach them what they actually need to do to get there. Don't just say, learn perspective. No, like, if you're trying to give like art advice, don't do that. Just don't.
If you want to draw backgrounds. If you're using Photoshop, hold Shift to draw a perfectly straight line. Learn color theory. When drawing a human, simplify their anatomy into basic shapes.
But don't trace. If you trace, you're not actually learning. You're memorizing, and there's a difference between memorizing and learning. So I have a other tip that I will show you at the end of this video that helped me improve anatomy. The simplifying shapes is nice. It's a nice way to do it. Just don't trace it.
Much easier to draw. If you don't know what colors to pick when coloring a character, use a pre-made color palette. You can find heaps of these online. When drawing line art, don't be afraid to draw over your already existing lines. Just make sure to erase the parts you don't want after.
Yep. Well, those were nice. Let's check out this one, color tips.
Alright, quick color tip today. Let's say we have a scene like this. An orangey yellow floor with a red ball. Let's give the scene some shadows. Okay, now we need to add the reflected light. That is, the direct light source bouncing off the floor, inheriting its color, and illuminating the shadow area of the red ball. Now, our two colors here are analogous, or next to each other on the color wheel. This makes for an easy color decision.
Well, this is just color theory and just light theory, I'd say. What he's drawing right now, what he's painting rather, is bounce color. So bounce color is what you get when you're working with a material that reflects some sort of color. Every material reflects color in a way, except when it's like pure black, you know. Again, that was a nice tip if we are talking about non-shiny materials, because with shiny materials it's a little bit more complicated. There's a lot more reflective light working on it, because if you're drawing like armor, it's a whole different story. Okay, let's see another one. No. No. Yo, don't trace. First of all, don't trace because you're not gonna learn. You're gonna memorize. No, no, no. Please don't do this. I need to take a sip of my coffee. If you trace something that is cartoonish, you're not going to be able to understand the anatomy of it. If you want to learn how to simplify noses, you must understand what are the shapes and the dimensions of a real nose so that you can afterwards do that. The thing is, you're gonna learn how to draw that nose specifically, and you're gonna draw it in every single one of your drawings, and it's just not gonna look right. And I'm talking from experience because this happened to me. I used to learn how to draw like Winx Club. That was my first like learn how to draw book. Their noses are like non-existent. They're literally just like two little lines. What happened was when I evolved my overall drawing, I still couldn't draw noses. So I spent like a week drawing noses and I got much better. And I was able to simplify it the way I like it. So don't do this. This is not gonna help you improve. So it's not an art tip, it's an art shortcut. Now we're gonna look at some anatomy tips. Let's see what we got.
Looking at heads, they are just an oval triangle shape. I've been trying to figure the quickest way to draw heads, and I noticed by drawing an oval first, it makes it easy to add facial structures later. I can't explain how to draw every structure, but here's some tips. For the nose, notice that it is the longest in the face, so it's going to overlap the eyes sometimes. When the head is slightly to the side, the eyes are kind of curved and not symmetrical or straight. I think of it as the eyes of the Spider-Man mask. For the mouth, look at Jeter's gorgeous work. Lips are also curved. Give them mouths some dimensions. Ears position also play important role to define the head tilt. I explained the ears before. Go check it out. The best thing about this oval method, you can draw any head in any position, no matter what the gender or age of the head. That really isn't a face tutorial. It's just few important tips, and if you're a beginner, I recommend you go look for face measurements first. It's just amazing way I figured lately and thought might help.
Well, that's what I was gonna say at the end, but he clearly knows what he's talking about. So first you should learn the realistic proportions of a face. He's only able to do those kind of drawings because he knows how a face works. He knows what is the position of all the elements in the face. He has studied it before. Again, this is a tip for someone who already has some sort of experience drawing. It's not for complete beginners. So if you are a beginner, I wouldn't recommend doing this. Focus on trying to mimic the proportions, not the stylization, just the proportions of a real face. Start with simple perspectives and then move on to more advanced ones. You could say advanced ones. But yeah, this is a nice tip if you already have some experience drawing faces and if you're familiar with faces. And also a thing with this tip is that it's not inclusive in a way because not everyone has an oval face shape and no one has like a small chin and a bigger forehead and stuff. I look at my face and I'm like, I'm pretty much a square, you know, like my face is pretty square, so this wouldn't work on me or if I was trying to draw someone like me. So these were some of the art tips that I found on TikTok that were interesting. Some of them worked for beginners, some of them worked for more experienced artists, some of them just don't work. So now I'm gonna share with you some art studies that I do and why I do them and what they can help with. So I really like K-pop and I really like dance, and I thought if I do enjoy these two things, then I could somehow incorporate it into my art studies. So what I started doing recently is I will pick out a K-pop song and I will play the dance practice in a very, very, very slow speed. I will try to do very quick drawings to understand how the body movement works, and I will simplify a dancer into like shapes, not add many details, not adding maybe the face, just to try and understand the overall shape of the body while it's in movement. And this, first of all, it makes you quicker at drawing and it makes you grasp anatomy really fast, and it's a nice way of drawing poses that I wouldn't typically draw because and they spin and they're backwards sometimes, and you know, those are the kind of poses that you wouldn't typically draw, at least I wouldn't. And if you also like dancing, if you also like K-pop, maybe do that. The next tip that I would recommend doing is to do 3 15-minute sketches every day of something that you love. For example, I could draw like a very detailed coffee mug. I'm kidding, but like something like that, you know? It doesn't have to be a person, it doesn't have to be a character. Obviously, if you want to improve character design, then maybe you should draw like clothes and stuff. But yeah, the first thing is something you love. Then draw something you hate. I don't particularly hate anything, but I do not like snakes. I don't really like spiders. So I would do something related to that, not necessarily drawing the animal, especially because of my arachnophobia. Like, that's not gonna work. But you know what I mean? Like, draw something you don't really like, and then you just mix something up. So you would search like a random objects with like a plant, and you would mix them up and you would draw them, and each sketch should take 15 minutes, and this will help you improve your creative library. Obviously I don't do this every day, even though I should. It will help you improve in some things that you are probably lacking and you don't even realize. And yeah, these are the 2 main tips that I will give you. I hope you do these, and if you try these things, let me know how it went. Leave a comment, and yeah. So that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Maybe subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye! I think you wouldn't be able to tell that this is my 4th coffee today, and it's 10 a.m.